Value resorts, a concept that centers at the core idea of something we all love, saving money. My favorite value resort is Pomp Century, easily. I love everything about it. The theming of each decade is so cool, and the price is unbeatable. But this isn't a video about Pomp Century. This is a video about the All-Star Movies Resort. I've stayed here once and didn't have a very good experience, but that's besides the point. All-Star Movies has buildings themed to 5 different movies. But which one is the best and worst of these areas? It's about time somebody found out. And that person is me. So I'm going to be ranking the All-Star Movies sections today.
This video is brought to you by Rogue Energy. When I'm up in my room editing, writing, or gaming, I love to have a good drink with me. It keeps me focused and relaxed. Rogue Energy is absolutely my go-to drink. It is much healthier than any other energy drink. It has 0 sugar, it is gluten-free, and paleo-friendly. They have 16 delicious flavors available like Radiant Rush, Rocket Pop, Sour Candy, Grape Popsicle, and many more. Rogue also has hydration available with flavors like Fruit Punch, Rainbow Candy, and Strawberry Bubblegum. Head on over to rogueenergy.com to get your energy or hydration drinks, starter kits, or shaker cups, and use code BBDIZ10 for 10% off your entire order. Thank you to Rogue Energy, and again, use code BBDIZ10 for 10% off your entire order. Now, let's get back to the video.
In the mid-90s, Disney started opening the All-Star Resorts, the first resort in this value resort category. At the time, Disney wanted to offer lower-priced resorts so families could stay on Disney property for cheap instead of staying elsewhere. All-Star Sports began opening in April 1994, and the last unit opened in August 1994. The All-Star Music opened in November 1994, and the All-Star Movies opened on January 15th, 1999. The All-Star Movies Resorts features areas themed to 5 movies: Fantasia / Fantasia 2000, Toy Story, 101 Dalmatians, The Mighty Ducks, and The Love Bug. The whole point of the value resorts is to offer budget-friendly pricing, so a standard room costs about $133 to $250 a night. Usually, the holiday season is the most expensive time. This is a great price. But let's talk theming, because this resort is very interesting. All-Star Music is my least favorite resort of all time, for it being themed to music, and this is what the best they come up with, is pathetic. All-Star Movies is often compared to Art of Animation since that resort is also themed to Disney movies, but this is a video about All-Star Movies, even though Art of Animation is better. Anyway, let's get into the ranking. This is going to be a little bit of a different video. I'm going to be going off script at some points. I would usually be telling you the history, or I would have a story about All-Star Movies. Don't really have that today. Just thought it would be fun to rank them. So let's do it. So, starting at the worst area of All-Star Movies, Mighty Ducks. This section is themed to hockey. And besides the duck hockey mask, there isn't anything that is unique to the movie itself. The Mighty Ducks was released in 1992, the sequel D2 was released in 1994, and D3 was released in 1996. It's strange to me that Disney chose this film out of their many iconic films to be represented. This area could have easily been included in All-Star Movies. Like, look at this pool and tell me, is this themed to the Mighty Ducks? No, it's literally just a hockey rink. Even the statue in front of the hockey net is Goofy. What does Goofy have to do with the Mighty Ducks? Nothing. It's not even a duck. Why isn't there a character from the Mighty Ducks in this section? It also doesn't help that the Mighty Ducks have very little relevance in 2025, and don't tell me about the rehashed TV series that came out in 2021 and 2022. Barely anybody remembers that. The last thing annoys me about this section is why is there not a hockey rink here? I know the pool looks like a hockey rink, but that's not good enough. Imagine how much cooler it would be if you could go here and actually be the Mighty Ducks and play hockey. Either an actual ice rink or street hockey would be so cool. I'm sure that they would do street hockey, but it would be cool. Not what it currently is now. Just has like literally the only thing that is themed to the Mighty Ducks is the duck, like the helmet, the hockey helmet. Other than that, I wouldn't know that this is themed to the Mighty Ducks. It's crazy. On to the second to worst, the Love Bug. Now, this pains me to put this here because I love Herbie. I adore these movies. I've loved them since I was a kid. But the All-Star Movies section is not it. I've made a video about Herbie in the parks and talked a little about this before. The Love Bug section does include the Herbie car that was in the parades from the 70s through the 90s, I believe, which is pretty cool. It's probably the best prop in any all-star resort and possibly in any resort on property because it's basically just a character meet and greet. But that car is where the greatness stops for this section. The winter circle is cool, but other than that, I don't like the decorations on the side of the buildings. There's wrenches and screwdrivers. What are these decorations? At least there's checkerboard racing flags on the outline at the top of the building because that makes more thematical sense. It's a movie about racing, so they put the racing flag. Why is there wrenches? Herbie gets fixed in some of the movies, but that's not the core aspect of the movie. Let's look at the rooms for a minute. This is a complaint about the value resort rooms in general. There's no theming to the section whatsoever. In the updated rooms in All-Stars, there's a picture of Minnie, Mickey, Donald, and a picture of Huey, Dewey, and Louie, but what does this have to do with the theming of the area? Nothing. At least before the refurb, the room had a wallpaper and a movie poster with the movie it was themed to, but this doesn't even have that. You walk into these rooms, they all look exactly the same. Why? They're in different sections for a reason. Theme the movies to the different sections. Drives me nuts. Last thing. On one end in the courtyard is this giant Herbie facing us. On the other is the back of Herbie. So is Herbie in two pieces here, or are there two different Herbies, one facing us, the other facing the building? I've never understood why he's in two pieces here. And I know that during the first movie he comes apart in the race, but he's fixed. He's fixed. He's not in two pieces. Even if we're looking at it from a storyline perspective, I don't want to see the back of a car. It makes no sense. Now this is what I'm talking about, the Toy Story section. This section is onto something because it's very hard to mess something up that has to do with Toy Story theming. Disney usually knocks it out of the park when it comes to Toy Story theming. So let's start with the door decoration. This is brilliant because the section is obviously themed to Andy's room. So not only is it a great entrance, it's also a cool picture spot. Another cool picture spot is RC because it's also basically just a character meet and greet. This section also had character statues that actually make sense. There's a giant Buzz and Woody on either side of the courtyard. Each building is themed to that character as well, so pretty decent theming here. Woody's side has sheriff stars and Buzz's side has a planet. Also behind Woody is a bookshelf with Pixar Easter eggs hidden on it, so I like that detail. One last thing about the decorations on the building I love is that it looks like the iconic wallpaper from Andy's room. The thing that holds the Toy Story section back is that there's something better that is Toy Story themed about 3 miles away in Hollywood Studios, that being Toy Story Land. Also, the stupid theme-killing rooms are back. I get these rooms used to look like the most 2000s room ever, and the wraparound wallpaper at the top of the walls makes it look really tacky, but compared to what they look like now, it is just a joke. At least they used to be themed to the area that they're supposed to be themed to, but not anymore. It's crazy. Fantasia is the second best area in All-Star movies. Let's start with the pool, a very cool character statue with Sorcerer Mickey on the mountain. The fountain that splashes into the pool is also a great theme because in the Sorcerer's Apprentice, he makes the fountains go up and everything. The theme is even more great with the giant broomstick statues from the Sorcerer's Apprentice as decorations for the buildings. Before the refurb of the rooms, the Fantasia section used to feature unbelievable artwork from Fantasia. Some roofs featured artwork from the film or the movie poster. Fantasia is obviously a very iconic film, and they chose a great section of that film to be represented here. Well, what they didn't do correct is choose another film from Fantasia 2000. I like Fantasia 2000, but I wish they chose another classic short film like Night on the Bald Mountain. In my opinion, besides Rhapsody in Blue, Fantasia 2000 is not nearly as memorable as the first Fantasia. For example, I have no recollection of these characters. I don't recognize this ballerina or the jester Jack-in-the-Box. No clue. And this section was definitely made just to promote Fantasia 2000, which is unfortunate because I think another short film from the first one would have been much cooler and much more recognizable today. And I promise I'm not hating on Fantasia 2000. I have friends who worked on that film, but this is why Fantasia is not the best section in All-Star movies. The best section in All-Star movies is 101 Dalmatians. This section has it all, but let me start with the character statues. Pongo and Perdita are the giant statues on either side of the courtyard. This section also has a cool picture spot with Lucky watching the TV. The thing I love most about this section is the puppies on the buildings. It's such a cool decoration, and obviously it looks like the puppies are running on the balcony. Plus, Horace and Jasper's van at the top of the building is a nice touch. 101 Dalmatians is such a classic film, and all you really need to do to theme a resort to 101 Dalmatians is have puppies, Pongo and Perdita. That's exactly what they've done here. I wish that Cruella, or maybe Cruella's car, would have also been a cool character statue, and I wish they would have given some love to the villain here. But what are you going to do? So that is the All-Star movies. Do you agree with my ranking? Let me know in the comments. I'm not going to lie, I've only stayed at the All-Star movies one time, and it is not my preferred resort. But looking at the refurbished rooms, don't you agree with me?